Mini Habits, Smaller Habits, Bigger Results by Stephen Guise. Picture this. December 28, 2012. Stephen Guise is standing in his living room, staring at his reflection, and honestly, he's not feeling great about what he sees. For an entire decade, that's 10 whole years, he'd been locked in this exhausting cycle with exercise. He'd start with a burst of energy, ride that wave for maybe a week or two, and then crash right back to square one, feeling even more defeated than before. So on this particular day, he decides enough is enough. He's going to do a proper 30-minute workout, right then and there. Kind of a warm-up for his New Year's resolution. He pulls on his workout clothes, stands there ready to go, and then absolutely nothing. Zero motivation. Zilch. That 30-minute workout might as well have been climbing Mount Everest in flip-flops. He tries every trick in the book, pumps up some energizing music, visualizes himself with those washboard abs on the beach. Still nothing. The couch is practically calling his name at this point. He's about ready to throw in the towel, again, when this completely bizarre idea pops into his head. He'd been reading about creative problem solving, and one technique suggested thinking about the total opposite of your goal. So what's the polar opposite of a brutal 30-minute workout? He actually laughs out loud when it hits him. It's so absurdly, ridiculously small. One single push-up. Just one. That's it. No strings attached, no, and then do more. Just drop down and do one measly push-up. It sounds completely pointless, right? But here's the thing. His ambitious plan was getting him exactly nowhere. So he thinks, what the heck? One push-up. I can manage that. He gets down on the floor, drops into position, and cranks out one solitary push-up. And right there, in that seemingly trivial moment, he accidentally unlocks something that would completely transform his life. That single push-up is the golden key to everything we're exploring today. It's the secret sauce behind a book that's quietly revolutionized how thousands of people tackle personal change. Today, we're unpacking Mini Habits by Stephen Guise, and I'm telling you, by the time we're done here, you'll understand the almost magical power of thinking absurdly small. You'll finally get why your brain's been sabotaging you this whole time, and you'll discover a strategy so simple, so wonderfully counterintuitive, that it genuinely feels like you're getting away with something. A strategy that lets you build literally any habit you want, not by grinding out more motivation, but by making failure basically impossible. So what happened after that one push-up? Well, Stephen's down there on the floor, and he thinks, I'm already here, might as well knock out a few more. They weren't pretty. His muscles were definitely protesting, but he pushed through a few more reps. Then he stands up, and there's this tiny spark of accomplishment glowing in his chest. Small, but real. Then another stupidly small idea hits him. What if I just do one pull-up? He sets up his pull-up bar, does one, then a couple more. He keeps dangling these laughably easy challenges in front of himself. And every single time, he meets them or beats them. 20 minutes later, he somehow completed a full workout. The exact same workout that seemed like scaling Everest just half an hour earlier. This experience was like a lightning bolt of clarity. For 10 years, he'd been trying to leap up the entire mountain in one heroic jump. He'd been waiting to feel motivated first. But what actually worked, what got him moving, was a goal so tiny that saying no to it felt harder than just doing it. This is the beating heart of Mini Habits, and it exposes this fundamental mistake most of us make about change. We think we need these massive goals. We believe we need to feel pumped up and inspired before we can act. But Guise stumbled onto something profound. That's completely backwards. Action comes first. Motivation shows up later, fashionably late, as usual. To really get why this works, we need to peek inside your brain for a second. Think of your brain as having two key characters who are constantly butting heads. First up, you've got the smart manager. That's your prefrontal cortex, hanging out right behind your forehead. This is you right now, listening and understanding. This is the part that makes plans, thinks about long-term consequences, and daydreams about your future. It's the you that decides, I'm going to learn guitar, or I'm finally getting in shape. It's the conscious, rational you. But here's the catch. The smart manager has a serious weakness. It gets exhausted. It runs on this limited resource scientists call willpower, or ego depletion. Every single decision you make, every temptation you resist, every time you force yourself through something difficult, you're draining that battery. And when that battery hits the red zone, player 2 enters the game. Let's call this second character the stupid repeater. In brain terms, that's mostly your basal ganglia. This part isn't smart in the traditional sense. It has zero interest in your long-term goals. It couldn't care less about the benefits of exercise or the dangers of junk food. All it does is recognize patterns and repeat them. It's basically a habit-building machine. Its entire mission is efficiency, automating as much as possible to conserve energy. So when you repeat the same behavior over and over, the stupid repeater reinforces that neural pathway. Imagine carving a trail through a dense forest. The more you walk it, the wider and clearer it becomes. Eventually, you can practically sleepwalk down that path. That's a habit. Your brain automatically picks the path of least resistance. And this is where our struggle lives. Your smart manager wants to forge a new path, to the gym, let's say. But your stupid repeater sees that well-worn, comfortable path to the couch and Netflix. The new path requires conscious effort, decision-making, and loads of willpower. The old path is on autopilot. Guess which one usually wins, especially after a draining day when your willpower tank is running on fumes. The traditional approach to change tries to bulldoze the stupid repeater with sheer force. We attempt to fuel ourselves with motivation. We binge motivational videos. We create vision boards. We give ourselves pep talks. Come on, you've got this. This is what Guise calls the get motivated strategy, and it's essentially a trap. Why? Because motivation is about as reliable as the weather. It's emotion-based, and emotions are incredibly fickle. Your mood can swing based on whether it's sunny or cloudy, something your boss said, what you had for lunch, or how well you slept. Building a habit on motivation is like constructing a house on quicksand. The foundation just isn't solid. This is exactly why New Year's resolutions have such a dismal success rate. We're talking around 8%. People launch with this huge firework of motivation, set these enormous goals, and try to sprint straight up the mountain. But their willpower runs dry, the motivation evaporates, and the stupid repeater yanks them right back to the comfortable, familiar patterns of their old habits. Now, willpower is definitely more dependable than motivation. It's the force your smart manager uses to override your stupid repeater. But as we've established, it's a limited resource. Scientists famously demonstrated this in what's known as the cookie and radish study. They put people in a room filled with the heavenly smell of fresh-baked chocolate chip cookies. On the table, a plate of warm cookies and a plate of radishes. Some lucky folks were told they could eat the cookies. The others? Only radishes. Imagine the sheer willpower it took for the radish group to sit there, drowning in chocolate aroma, while crunching on bitter vegetables. Afterwards, both groups tackled a difficult, basically unsolvable puzzle. The cookie group worked on it for about 20 minutes before giving up. The poor radish eaters. They lasted barely 8 minutes. Resisting those cookies had completely drained their willpower battery, leaving them with way less mental energy for the next challenge. Scientists call this ego depletion. So if motivation is unreliable and willpower is limited, what are we supposed to do? This is where the brilliance of mini habits shines through. The strategy isn't about finding more willpower. It's about using way less of it. A mini habit is, as Stephen Guise describes it, a stupid small version of a habit you want to build. It's an action so tiny that it requires almost no willpower to pull off. Want to exercise daily? Your mini habit is 1 push-up a day. Want to write a book? Your mini habit is 50 words a day. Want to read more? Your mini habit is 2 pages a day. Want to meditate? Your mini habit is 1 conscious breath. The crucial part is that the requirement has to feel almost ridiculous. Your brain, your stupid repeater, doesn't even register it as a challenge. There's virtually no resistance. Asking yourself to do a 30-minute workout creates this massive wall of resistance. Asking yourself to do one push-up? There's no wall. It's barely a speed bump you can step over without breaking stride. This tiny action accomplishes two almost magical things. First, it gets you moving. And remember Newton's first law: an object at rest stays at rest, but an object in motion stays in motion. Getting started is where you face the most friction, the most resistance. A mini-habit is specifically designed to be the smallest possible nudge to get you rolling. Once you've done that single push-up, you're already in motion. Your mindset shifts. Often you'll actually find that natural surge of motivation, the one you couldn't manufacture just minutes ago, and you'll want to keep going. Guise calls this bonus reps. You only have to do one push-up, but you're always free to do more, and more often than not, you will. Second, even if you don't do any bonus reps, you still win. This is the safety net that makes the whole system bulletproof. Let's say you've had an absolutely terrible day. You're wiped out, stressed to the max, and exercise is the last thing on your mind. With a traditional goal, you would have failed. You'd crawl into bed feeling guilty and defeated. But with a mini habit, you can literally roll over in bed, drop to the floor for one push-up, and boom, you've succeeded for the day. You've kept your streak alive. You fall asleep with a win under your belt. This feeling of success is absolutely critical. Most of us, especially if we've crashed and burned on goals before, have basically trained our brains to expect failure. We've weakened our belief in our ability to change. Psychologists call this self-efficacy. Mini habits are like a self-efficacy factory. By setting a bar so low you literally can't fail, you start racking up wins. Day after day, you're proving to yourself that you're someone who actually follows through. Your brain, that stupid repeater, starts recognizing a new pattern, the pattern of success. This builds genuine confidence and makes bigger changes feel actually possible. So how do you put this into practice? Guise lays out a straightforward 8-step plan. Step 1. Choose your mini habits. Don't get overzealous here. Start with 1 to 4 habits maximum. Maybe you want to focus on fitness, reading, and mindfulness. Your mini habits could be 1 push-up, 2 pages, and 1 positive thought. Keep them stupid small. Step 2. Use the why drill. For each habit, ask yourself why you want it. Then ask why about that answer. Keep drilling down until you hit the core of your motivation. You want to make sure these habits connect to your deep, genuine values, not just stuff you think you should be doing because society says so. Step 3. Define your habit cues. A cue is a trigger telling you it's time for your habit. Could be time-based, like at 3 p.m. every day, or activity-based, like right after brushing my teeth. But Guise offers something even more flexible, the general mini habit. The cue is simply, sometime before I go to sleep tonight. This gives you total freedom and removes the pressure of a rigid schedule, making failure even harder. Step 4. Create your reward plan. Remember, the stupid repeater runs on rewards. When you complete your mini habit, celebrate. Doesn't have to be elaborate. Could be saying yes out loud, marking a check mark on a calendar, or watching a funny video. This creates a positive feedback loop that tells your brain, hey, that behavior led to something good, let's do it again. Step 5. Write everything down. Get a big wall calendar and mark a giant X on every day you complete your mini habits. Jerry Seinfeld famously used this method for his joke-writing habit. He said your only job is to not break the chain. Watching that chain of successes grow is incredibly powerful visual reinforcement. Step 6. Think small. This is the mental discipline. You absolutely must resist the urge to raise the bar. Even if you write 1,000 words for 20 straight days, your official requirement stays at 50. The moment you start thinking, I have to write 1,000 words today, you've lost the magic. You've reintroduced pressure and the possibility of failure. Your requirement is the safety net. The bonus reps are the fun part. Step 7. Meet your schedule and drop high expectations. Your only expectation is consistency. Celebrate hitting the minimum. Don't beat yourself up if you have a day where you only do the bare minimum. That's not a failure. That's the system working perfectly. It's keeping you in the game on your roughest days. Step 8. Watch for signs of habit formation. A habit is truly formed when the behavior becomes automatic. You'll notice the resistance disappears. You might even catch yourself doing it without consciously deciding to. It feels normal, maybe even boring. It's just part of who you are now. That's the goal. Guise also gives us 8 rules to live by on this journey. They're simple but powerful reminders. 1. Never, ever cheat. Don't secretly raise your requirement. 1 push-up means exactly 1 push-up. 2. Be happy with all progress. Celebrate the tiny wins. Each one is a victory over inertia. 3. Reward yourself often. Keep reinforcing that positive feedback loop. 4. Stay level-headed. Don't rely on emotional highs. Trust the calm, steady process. 5. If you feel strong resistance, back off and go even smaller. Can't do 1 push-up. Your goal becomes just getting on the floor. Can't do that. Just put on your workout clothes. No step is too small. 6. Remind yourself how easy this is. Your brain will try to convince you it's hard. Keep reminding it that your task is laughably easy. 7. Never think a step is too small. The smallest step is infinitely more powerful than no step at all. 8. Put extra energy toward bonus reps, not a bigger requirement. Channel your ambition into overachieving, not into making the starting line harder to cross. What I find so profound about this approach is how it respects the reality of being human. It doesn't demand you become some superhero of self-discipline. It works with your brain's natural wiring, not against it. It understands that we have good days and rough days, that our energy fluctuates, and that life throws curveballs. It also gives you back a sense of control, or what psychologists call autonomy. Many self-help systems feel like a drill sergeant barking orders. You feel constrained and controlled. Many Habits flips this completely. It sets a tiny, non-negotiable requirement, and then says, okay, you've done your part. Everything else is up to you. You're free. This sense of freedom is incredibly motivating. It transforms the process from a chore you're forced to do into a game you're choosing to play. And over time, something truly remarkable happens. It's not just your behavior that changes. It's your identity. You start with a mini habit of writing 50 words daily. After a few months, you don't just write anymore. You are a writer. You start with 1 push-up daily. Soon, you don't just exercise. You are someone who's active. The habit becomes so deeply ingrained that not doing it actually feels weird. It becomes part of how you see yourself. And that's the ultimate prize. Not just doing new things, but becoming a new version of yourself, one stupidly small step at a time. It's a journey that started for Stephen Guise on December 28, 2012, with a single push-up. A small, seemingly meaningless action that sparked a transformation, leading to a new level of fitness, a massive boost in his writing output, and ultimately, this very book, proof of the incredible, life-changing power of starting ridiculously small. As we wrap up our exploration of mini habits, I want to reflect for a moment on why this seemingly simple idea is so revolutionary. You're living in a world that constantly screams at you to go big or go home, to dream massive, set audacious goals, and hustle around the clock. And while big dreams are wonderful, that advice usually skips the most crucial part: how to actually start when that dream feels impossibly far away. What I love about Stephen Guise's work is that it gives you permission to be human. It acknowledges that you won't always feel motivated. You won't always have endless willpower. And you know what? That's perfectly okay. The system isn't designed for your best day. It's designed for your worst day. And any system that can produce a win on your worst day is a system that can genuinely change your life. The most powerful lesson here is this redefinition of success. We're taught that success means massive, heroic efforts. But Mini Habits teaches us that true, lasting success is about quiet, relentless consistency. It's about showing up, even in the tiniest way, day after day after day. The person who does one push-up every single day for a year will end up in a far better place than the person who does an epic 2-hour workout once and then disappears for 3 months. Why? Because the first person built a habit. They carved a new neural pathway. They built a new identity. The second person just had a fleeting moment of motivation. So here's a simple action you can take right now, today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for New Year's. Just pick one thing, one stupid small thing you want to do. Maybe it's reading. Tonight, before sleep, just read one page of a book. Not a chapter, one page. Maybe it's keeping your space clean. Just put one thing back where it belongs. One shirt, one book. Maybe it's learning an instrument. Just pick it up and play for 1 minute. Do it just to feel what it's like to win. To end your day with a small, undeniable victory. Because that feeling is the seed of momentum. And momentum, built one tiny step at a time, is the most powerful force for change in the universe. You don't need to conquer the mountain tomorrow. You just need to take the first step today. That was a deep dive into the core ideas of Mini Habits by Stephen Guise. We've explored the main concepts today, but I'll be honest with you, a summary can only ever be a map. The real treasure is found when you walk the path yourself. The true magic happens in those quiet moments of reading, when a particular story or simple phrase connects with you in an unexpected way. This overview is designed to help you see if this book's journey is one worth taking. If anything we've talked about has sparked something in you, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning a technique. It's an experience that can fundamentally shift how you approach your goals in your life. The link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found this exploration valuable, I'd be grateful if you could hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next journey into another transformative book. Let's keep learning and growing together.